نگاهی به افشاگریهای اتمی مقاومت ایران، مسعود رجوی، 20 شهریور 1389.
اگر یادتون باشه 8 سال پیش در همین ایام مقاومت ایران تأسیسات پنهان رژیم رو برای بمبسازی فاش کرد. در این سالها مقامات آمریکایی از رئیس جمهور تا وزیر خارجه و رئیس شورای امنیت ملی و کارشناسان بارها و بارها بر روی همین حقیقت انگشت گذاشتند. اول بار در 22 شهریور سال 83 بود که خانم رایس در مقام مشاور امنیت ملی رئیس جمهور آمریکا گفت ما که خبر نداشتیم و فی الواقع یک گروه مخالف ایرانی بود که نیروگاه غنیسازی اورانیوم رو در نتنز فاش کرد.
It turned out that an Iranian group, a kind of rejectionist group, actually exposed the Iranian uranium enrichment facility at Natanz.
4 روز بعد از اون وزیر خارجه وقت آمریکا کالین پاول در 26 شهریور سال 83 گفت بله اونچه که ورق رو چرخوند اطلاعات مخالفان ایرانی بود. در 29 آبان همون سال هم پاول وزیر خارجه آمریکا گفت که اطلاعاتی که مخالفان رژیم ایران فاش کردند نشان می‌دهد که این رژیم روی طرح‌های تسلیحات اتمی کار میکنه، مخصوصاً برای گذاشتن کلاهک‌ها روی موشک‌هاش.
That said we have some information, I've seen some information, and the dissidents have put out more information that suggests that the Iranians are also working on the designs one would have to have for putting such a warhead into a missile. This shouldn't be brand new news. This shouldn't surprise anybody.
و بعد از اون رئیس جمهور آمریکا جورج بوش 3 بار در 29 بهمن سال 83، در اول اسفند سال 83 و در 26 اسفند سال 83 بر روی همین حقیقت انگشت گذاشت و گفت که ما متوجه شدیم که رژیم ایران به طور مخفیانه به غنیسازی اورانیوم مشغول است. این واقعیت دارد چون یک گروه ایرانی بود که موضوع رو فاش کرد.
Remember, this all started when we found them enriching uranium in an undeclared fashion. And it happened because somebody told on them. There was an Iranian group that brought forth the information, and it was clear that they were enriching. And yet they hadn't told anybody, which leads you to wonder why they hadn't told anybody. And so you can understand our suspicions.
و در مصاحبه با روزنامه فرانسوی گفت که این یک گروه ایرانی مخالف بود که زنگ خطر رو نزد آژانس بین‌المللی انرژی اتمی به صدا در آورد و برنامه اتمی رژیم رو به دنیا نشون داد. و در 26 اسفند سال 83 آقای بوش تصریح کرد که رژیم ایران برنامه هسته‌ایش رو پنهان کرده بود. برنامه فاش شد نه به خاطر اینکه اونها از آژانس بین‌المللی انرژی اتمی یا معاهده منع تکثیر تبعیت کرده باشند و خودشون گفته باشند، نه، بلکه به خاطر اینکه گروه مخالف این را به جهان نشان داد.
Iran has concealed a nuclear program that became discovered, not because of their compliance with the IAEA or NPT, but because a dissident group pointed it out to the world, and which raised suspicions about the intentions of the program. You can understand why.
حالا علاوه بر رئیس جمهور، معاون رئیس جمهور در 16 آذر سال 86 گفت که اگر به یاد داشته باشید در سال 2002 برنامه‌های رژیم توسط اپوزیسیون این رژیم بود که فاش شد. بعد از اون هم خانم رایس در مقام وزیر خارجه در سال 83 که در مقام رئیس شورای امنیت ملی آمریکا بود، در مقام وزیر خارجه هم 7 بار به مناسبت‌های مختلف در فروردین 84 در لس آنجلس تایمز، در 10 فروردین مجدداً با روزنامه دی ولت، با سی بی اس، با تلویزیون سی ان ان و در سایت رسمی وزارت خارجه گفت که یک گروه مخالف بود که جهان رو بیدار کرد. از جمله در مهر سال 84 پرسید که خب اگر رژیم چیزی برای پنهان کردن نداره، چرا این فعالیت ها فقط وقتی برای ما شناخته شد که مخالفین ایرانی اون رو فاش کردند؟
Multiple unanswered questions about why the Iranians were lying about their activities 18 years ago until the present, of how certain things happened, of why the enrichment activities were discovered when they were unveiled by Iranian opposition, why none of that was reported to the IAEA. That's the question that's on the table.
و یا در مهر 85 که گفت این رو بیاد داشته باشید که ما از طریق اپوزیسیون ایران از وجود چنین سایت های مطلع شدیم. و در 30 خرداد سال 87 مجدداً تأکید کرد که مشکل با رژیم ایران اینه که اونا همیشه میتونند راهی برای فریب دادن پیدا کنند. بازرس‌های آژانس مدت‌های طولانی است در ایران هستند. با این حال ما از طریق گزارش‌های مخالفین ایران است که متوجه این فعالیت‌های پنهان می‌شویم. سخنگویان وزارت خارجه هم در این سالها مکرراً این رو گفتند.
به خاطر داشته باشید که در سال 2002 برخی از دگراندیشان به این پرداختن و برخی از کسانی که مخالف بودند با نظام جمهوری اسلامی به طرح این قضیه پرداختند که اتفاقاتی داره بر خلاف و در نقض قوانین و مقررات سازمان منع گسترش سلاح‌های هسته‌ای میفته که دولت جمهوری اسلامی منکر اون شد.
استفن هدلی رئیس شورای امنیت ملی آمریکا هاکذا و هانس بلیکس کارشناس ارشد و نماینده ویژه که در آذر ماه سال 86 گفت که بدون شک این گروه مقاومت ایران بود که برای اولین بار برنامه هسته‌ای رژیم رو افشا کرد. و بعد هم بازرسان ملل متحد از جمله یک بازرس آمریکایی که خودش گفت در آذر ماه سال 1383 که بازرس‌ها 18 سال برنامه هسته‌ای رژیم رو ندیدند و فقط موقعی پیداش کردند که یک گروه مخالف ایرانی که از قضا توسط آمریکا به عنوان تروریست نامگذاری شده از این برنامه پنهان پرده برداری کرد.
The Iranian program was not found either by the international inspection agencies or by domestic intelligence services. It was Iranian defectors, Iranian opposition groups outside of Iran that brought that to the world's attention.
بله، ما با افتخار ملی و میهنی تا آنجا که در توان داریم قطعاً که نمیگذاریم رژیم به بمب اتمی مسلح و تجهیز بشود. با درود به همه مجاهدان، پیشرزمان، قهرمانان و دستاندرکاران این تلاش‌های شگفت برای افشای بمبسازی رژیم، تردیدی نیست که مقاومت ایران از بابت بیدار کردن جهان در این زمینه، از بابت هشدار نسبت به چنین خطری، شایان یک قدرشناسی تاریخی است. جیغ و دادهای رژیم علیه مجاهدین بی علت نیست. در تمام این سالها ادعا می‌کرد که مجاهدین اخبار و گزارش‌ها و اطلاعات خودشون رو از اسرائیل یا آمریکا می‌گیرند. مطمئن باشید که این کد دریافت اطلاعات از اسرائیل و آمریکا، هر که بگوید یا هر که گفته باشد بدون ذره شک و شبهه، سرنخ رو که بگیریم، در انتهای این رشته به وزارت بدنام و مأموران پیشانی سیاه یا گمنام خواهیم رسید. اگر که رژیم این را نگوید پس چه بگوید؟ به نظر می رسد که در اثر همین ضربات رژیم بدجور دچار سرگیجه و سرسام شده، بی دریغ و بی دنده و ترمز. یک روز خبر دستگیری ما را می دهد، یک روز خبر فوت، یک روز خبر از کشته شدن، اون هم در آمریکا، و انواع و اقسام احکام و ورقپاره های دستگیری و استرداد. یک روز به یاوه میگوید که انترپول در پی دستگیری ماست، یک روز هم ما رو دچار انواع و اقسام بیماری ها میکنه و یک روز هم دل خود را خوش میکند که به زودی آمریکا ما رو دست بسته به رژیم خواهد داد. یک روز میگه قرار است به زودی به عربستان منتقل بشند، یک روز میگه که مجاهدین ریختند و همه پرونده‌های خودشون رو در محکمه جنایی عراق سوزوندند و از بین بردند و دیگه پرونده‌ای نیست. یک روز دو مرتبه از طریق روزنامه البیانه جدیده میگه نه، مقداری از پرونده ها باز باقی است. و اخبار مستمر در مورد همکاری مجاهدین با القاعده در ناآرامی های عراق. و یک روز هم این که ملا قسم آیه میخورد که 70% از کسانی که توی قرارگاه اشرف هستند به زور و به اجبار در آنجا ماندند. میبینید که هر روز بر ابعاد سرگیجه و سرسام و پرت و پلا گفتن افزوده می شود، بیشتر می شود که کمتر نمی شود. و سرانجام سفیر رژیم خبر میده از شورش های مکرر در قرارگاه اشرف. آنچنان که اون خبرنگار آمریکایی گفته بود، به نظر می رسد که رژیم مجاهدان اشرف رو ببرهایی در قفس می بیند که بسیار خطرناک و بسیار ترساننده هستند. در مورد عملیات فروغ جاویدان، پس از سالها سرکردگان رژیم یکی پس از دیگری به صحنه آمدند و هنوز هم ادامه میدند و نکاتی رو میگویند که مؤید گزارش ستاد فرماندهی در همان 22 سال پیش است. از جمله یکی از سرکردگان رژیم به نام ویسی میگوید که بعد از بسیج خمینی 250 گردان در کرمانشاه دست اندر کار نبرد و رویارویی با مجاهدین بودند. این علاوه بر نیروهای رسمی سپاه و ارتش و هوانیروز رژیمه. دیپلماسی آخوندی این چنین بیدنده و ترمز ترس و لرز خودش رو به نمایش می‌گذارد. بگذارید ببینیم که در پایان این زورآزمایی تاریخی چه کسی بر چه کسی پیروز خواهد شد، خلق یا ضد خلق، مجاهد خلق یا رژیم.
بحث ایران در پارلمان انگلستان با حضور وزیر خارجه دومینیک راب 25 سپتامبر 2019. دومینیک راب: رژیم ایران نمیتواند مسیری را که میرود ادامه دهد بدون اینکه عواقب مهمی برایش داشته باشد. رئیس کمیته امور خارجه پارلمان انگلستان: رژیم ایران یک متجاوز به مردم سراسر منطقه است.
I welcome very much my right honourable friend's statement on Iran and the clarity of the position that he has set forward. It's important that we remember that Iran has been an aggressor not just to British dual nationals but to people around the region, sponsoring in many ways the invasion of Syria and the violence that has caused millions of people to be displaced from their homes and hundreds of thousands to be killed. Can he agree with me that the decision recently of the Iranian government to put further fuel onto that fire by sailing the Grace 1 into Syrian waters is simply a further confirmation of the terrible regime that is breaking international rules at every turn?
I thank the right honourable gentleman, the chairman of the Select Committee. He's absolutely right that the behaviour, both in relation to the Senna Imperial but also Grace 1, is contrary to international good, in particular in terms of breaching sanctions on Syria and supporting the Assad regime, but also in terms of the absolutely explicit assurances that were given to the United Kingdom that wouldn't happen.
Dr. Liam Fox. As my right honourable friend knows, because of the financial front-loading which has enabled Iran to finance international terrorism and, as he said, the lack of restraint on Iran's regional destabilisations. If Iran continues to be in breach of the JCPOA, as they are when they say they will continue and accelerate uranium enrichment, will the UK, under the agreement, trigger the process that would result in the snapback of UN sanctions?
I thank my right honourable friend. I share some of his concerns in relation to the JCPOA. It's clear that Iran cannot continue to go down the path that it's on without significant consequences. We expect Iran to live up to its responsibilities under international human rights law, under the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations, and release Nazanin and the other dual national cases without delay. They are being held unlawfully, and there's no bargaining with Iran. It must live up to its international commitments, and it must do so without delay.
John Woodcock.
Speaker, a number of my colleagues and I were able to visit Saudi Arabia this week and see the Abqaiq facility and be in absolutely no doubt that the very precise damage which is done to it was conducted by the Iranians. But can he assure us now from the dispatch box there is no question that the bad behaviour of the Iranians will be rewarded and that actually we should be looking to be in step with the United States at this vital time?
we're close to certainty that Iran was responsible. It is implausible and lacking credibility for it to be suggested that the attacks came from the Houthi rebels. We certainly will coordinate with the United States as our closest military and security ally, but as I've said already, what actually we need is to send the broadest international response and signal to Iran if we're going to have the greatest degree of impact on its behaviour in the future, because Iran is relying on splitting and splintering the West and indeed the other countries that it will fall back and try and engage in partnership and alliance with as its isolation increases.
Mary Robinson.
My right honourable friend recognises the importance of ensuring that Iran never gains access to nuclear weapons. However, over recent months, Iran has deliberately breached the terms of the JCPOA nuclear deal, including enriching uranium, taking it closer to being able to produce those nuclear weapons. Does he agree with me that, and share my concerns, that Iran will continue down this path unless it encounters a strong and united front from the West?
John Whittingdale.
May I strongly welcome my right honourable friend's continued championing of the cause of media freedom, on which Iran's record is one of the worst in the world. In particular, will he continue to press Iran?
This week at the UN General Assembly, the UK will be hosting an event on media freedom and also a separate event in relation to Iran's human rights records. So I can give them reassurance that in both of those key areas we are championing, not just on a bilateral basis, but on a multilateral basis, all of those issues that he's concerned about.
George Howard.
Can I, Mr. Speaker, agree with the right honourable gentleman about the importance of ensuring that Iran never gains access to nuclear weapons? And can he give us his assessment as to how long it is likely to take before they achieve that capability?
Dame Louise Ellman.
Speaker, Iran's actions are making war more likely in the Middle East. Bases in Syria, arms for Hezbollah in Lebanon, and arms for Hamas in Gaza. What is the Secretary of State doing to address these issues which threaten the peace of the whole region?
Well, there are a whole range of sanctions on Iran under the EU and the UK implementing legislation for the EU regime. She's absolutely right to refer to all of the proxies by which Iran tries to exert its influence in an aggressive and belligerent way. And the most important thing, as well as looking at sanctions, is working with the widest range of international support, including all permanent members of the UN Security Council, to live up to their responsibilities to put an end to this aggressive behaviour.
Mr. Stephen Crabb.
Mr. Speaker, does the Foreign Secretary also acknowledge that there are tens of thousands of British citizens working in Saudi Arabia and living now with greater fear, greater risk for their lives as a result of Iranian-backed attacks on Saudi Arabia as a consequence of their thuggish behaviour? So what can the Foreign Secretary tell the House this afternoon to show that he is really determined that Iran's irresponsible behaviour?
Gareth Johnson.
Mr. Speaker, does the Secretary of State share my frustrations that despite categorical assurances from the Iranian government, the Grace 1 tanker that was seized in Gibraltar headed on its way to Syria despite the promises that he gave? And does he agree with me that this is just another example of why the Iranian government is losing respect right around the world?
Honourable friend is absolutely right. I've explained this to the Iranian government at every level, and the reality is, if assurances are given, clear and unequivocal assurances, and they're broken, it only goes to decrease trust and reduce and erode confidence in Iran and its ability to live up to its responsibilities. And that can only taint its reputation and delay the point at which it can come in from the international cold.
Mr. Jones. There are 100 sea mines in the Red Sea that have been found by the Houthis, Iranian manufactured. If they were to hit an oil tanker carrying 2 million barrels of oil, it will be the worst environmental crisis ever. When is this government going to step up to the plate and deal with the Islamist terrorists in Yemen?
Daniel Kaczynski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Foreign Secretary was correct to highlight in his statement the appalling attacks on Aramco and Iran's meddling in Yemen. Will he also acknowledge that over the last few years there have been growing allegations of Iranian interference in Bahrain, Iraq, Syria, and of course the funding of Hezbollah in Lebanon? Will he focus on these allegations equally and the effects it's having on those regional partners?
My honourable friend is absolutely right that we need all of the destabilising activities that Iran is conducting through its proxies in the region, and that looking at one or other issue without looking at it in the whole is missing the big picture.
Stuart Malcolm MacDonald.
Mr. Speaker, 2 years ago, the government concluded that Iran was responsible for a cyber attack on this very House. Can I ask him what assessment the Foreign Office has made of the current threat of cyber attacks from the government of Iran?
I think Iran is clearly trying to exploit all of the potential avenues for exerting its influence and power in the region. That isn't just military in the way we saw with Aramco, but also in relation to cyber. And we are making sure that we've got the best set of technological equipment and resources to make sure we can defend ourselves. And also, again, that's something that we need to work with our international partners on.
Matthew Alford.
Speaker, it's 4 years since the JCPOA was implemented, and many of us were very much against it at that time. But since that occasion, we've seen Iran become more belligerent, not only engaging in attacks against our nationals, but also harassing our fleets and transport. In cyber attacks, even against this Parliament itself. Does the Foreign Secretary really believe this is a country that wants to engage with the international community?
The honourable friend makes the point very powerfully. Iran is giving the international community, certainly the United Kingdom, and in relation to the Grace 1 episode, a very clear message that it doesn't live up to its